Okay. I'll wait till we get some people on here and we'll get to painting. All right, let's see. All right. Dan, how are you? How's the volume? Being that you're my first person on here. Okay, I hope you're doing good. I'm just gonna let a few more people come on and go from there. Oh, okay. Okay, so can you hear me okay? Good. I'm glad you're doing good. Hello, Patty. How are you? How's the volume, guys? Is it good? Let me know. Good to have people on here. Part 4 of the steps of making this come into being. Hey. Let's see, Fingerprint Customs. I know you. Wow. All right. So I have to leave my fingerprints on this painting because I got a lot to do still. But I'm prepared for the tire. I've been, getting some areas ready. Remember, there's frisket on there. So that's what we're doing here. And in the meantime, what I do is I take these little pieces here and I use them for a little, you see them on my solo cups. I spray onto them. Just put them in a little container down here so that I can grab them just for test swatches or whatever you want to call them. So I have my little dowel here, which I have been, as long as this is clapboard, as long as I'm doing light and right in the beginning of spraying, if I want to do a little something with the dowel, which is made for the synthetic paper, Blair synthetic paper, but I have been able to use it a little bit on the clapboard, but in a very early stage. So I'm just going to wait a little bit longer. We got about 8 people on here. Hello, 8 people. I guess you guys can hear me, right? Because I did ask if you can hear me. So just let me know if the volume's good. Somebody. Unless you just have, well, I guess you'll tell me you can't hear me. So just cleaning out the desk drawer here a little bit. Okay, I'm going to be using the Micron. I got the mixture. So this, let me just get this picture up here. So the tire in general is just, you got the lighter area and then you got highlights, so probably hitting a curve or something, right? And then you got the blend into the black. I didn't even think about those little letters there. So maybe they could be hand painted in later. But in the meantime, it's just, this has been very challenging for me. I'm a sign painter, but the lettering with frisket and trying to cut out in between and all, oh man. The letters are kind of funky on the letter, on the tire, if you look. I mean, this is why I have this blown up, because, you need to really see what's going on. And so I have this for zoom, photograph to go along with the smaller version right here that, yeah, if I bring it up to you guys, you can see that. Michael McClung, how you doing there? So we got everybody here? Okay. All right. So I'm all ready to go. Focusing on the tire. And if I can bring the shadow in right here. Shadow. I do have the metal. I have the magnets now. So I do have that for, but it's not for the clay board. So when I do the synthetic paper, that's when I'll be able to use the magnets in all of its wonderful. I want to get smaller ones that are round. I did get the rare earth ones, but they were too powerful. They were like unbelievable. They were pretty small, but so I have that, and I can't wait to use it in all of its glory. You know, when you want to pin down your project, as you all know. But for those that don't, you know, so these are the magnets I'm using right now. They're good. They stick good, but they do not. I want them to be round, you know, or little guys. So if anybody knows a good place to get magnets, the rare earth ones that I've got, it has a warning on the actual. Let me show you guys. This kind of floored me. Oh, I put them away. Yeah. Because of children, you know, like we grandchildren come over or something. So I got really like kind of upset with these magnets. I'll just talk about this for a minute. Safety issues. Keep away from children. And they're the really powerful magnets. I mean, if I take one and bring it close, and they'll stack perfectly like that. So I don't know who's using these, but I have grandchildren, and it says on here, swallowed magnets may connect internally, causing digestive obstructions, holes, and or death. So read package warning. As soon as I read that, I was like, I'm a grandpa. I don't have little kids anymore as far as my own boys, but I don't want that just sitting around. I don't know how this is going to be, but this didn't come with no warnings. So I'm getting rid of these. Okay. So anyway, if anybody has any suggestions for nice little round, you know, the circular type, probably about that big. That has a little dome shape, you know, something about that big, maybe a little bigger. That's what I have in my classroom in a box that Sylvia, with the painting of the cherries, she's using very nice, easy to grab, tiny ones that are really, you know, these things. I think that'll stick probably just to the, yeah, it's so powerful. But anyway, okay, so that's my magnet thing in my desk. And I cut the metal myself. It was probably about 24 by 24. And I cut it myself by scoring it. I was using a jigsaw. I asked the place to cut it, and they wouldn't cut it. You know, Lowe's. It was already cut. And so I scored it. I tied down my 4 by. I have a real heavy-duty 4-foot thick ruler that's metal. I taped it down. I was using all kinds of clamps. Nothing was working. I just used that, the tape, and pinned it, and I kept scoring it with a utility knife. And then I finally bent it and snapped it. Because when I was using the jigsaw, forget it, man. It was, I was going off, and I even had a railing and a fence to guide the jigsaw, but it didn't work. Not for me. Anyway, I'm used to cutting wood in the sign business and aluminum. Aluminum, you know. Anyway, just wanted to talk to you about that for a minute. There's our thing. Let's get going with, let's just go right after the tire. That's a little bit of the purple tape. The reason why that's on there and this is I was working and changing a few cuts. So I had the tire out of shape right here. And you really can't tell with the frisket, you know. The frisket is hard to tell when it's near the edge where it actually is. So we've got to do something about this. I can do one of two things. I could just get the purple tape here. Deltec, very light. It won't tear on paper. It won't, what I mean by that is it basically, you can put it on paper over and over again, sticking it on paper, and it's just thin copy paper. It won't ruin it. It's really nice. You can see through it. It's kind of like the gold tape, you know, but this is what I bought from reading about it with Drew's store. That's opened for the shadow area. As a matter of fact, this I'm going to use for the bottom spoiler, but at the same time, I'm going to move it when I spray in my shadow because there's no frisket there. Okay. Then I do have the bigger version. So I try to get different sizes. This is the real size, obviously. Oh, look, guys. The video is done. Thank you. I feel like I've achieved photorealism. Yeah, I hope so. I hope I can get pretty close. Okay, so having said that, any openings, any weird spots that are not protected, the worst thing you want to see is you take off you find an opening and the paint got through, you know. Okay. There's a 1/4-inch border around this whole thing. I think I see a little opening right here. Except I didn't lay it on there nice. Just put it there like that. Okay, so that's exposed. I got the color ready to go. I'm going to be using the lighter color, just like anything I do. It's light to dark, and be using the Micron. This is opaque. The fenders and the paint you saw from the earlier videos are transparent, which, you know, let's see, Bill, are you wanting magnets that go through the clayboard or just the paper? No, Dan, just for the synthetic paper, because those rare earth ones that I got from Harbor Freight, they were great, you know, but they were very strong and very hard to move. But then I read the label. I was like, oh my gosh. And I thought I lost one on the floor. Right there, I was all upset. But it turned out the count was 10 of them, and it was in the stack. So I was okay there. All right, so I'm using my Micron side bottle, and I'll get the lighter color. Lighter color is like a blue-gray. So let's see, dark gray this is for right here. Okay, so it's kind of like, it's cerulean blue, and it's got the orange to kill some of the blue, you know, gray it out, and it's got the white, of course, and black, BLK, and then the orange, white, cerulean. Yeah, cerulean. So what I did, because I wasn't sure what blue to use, I just took a little palette with a paintbrush, put cerulean with the grease pencil there and there, black, cobalt, and it seemed like it's leaning towards the, you know, the cerulean, which is closer to green. So it starts going towards the green. The cobalt starts going towards the violet. But anyway, I did that, my black, of course, my white, and I just mixed a little mixture on this palette, and I found it almost immediately by using the cerulean. So I knew I didn't even have to try the cobalt. So just a little quick test, you know, and then from there, mixing it was a challenge though, because even though I got that quick with a paintbrush, having to get a certain amount of color in you know, to have the spray, and then from there going ahead and testing it, making sure I liked matching it against the big shape, this shape. So I found it. So let's do that first. And I have no clue how my letters are going to come out, but I can tell you this one I lost. I'll zoom in on this for you guys. Okay. So this letter here, the E, just fell off. You know how these little things want to move, and they're not. Some of them aren't perfectly cut because they move when you start cutting them there. Once you start trying to take the frisket away. And then, so that's a replacement one. It's a horrible one. It's the purple tape. It is the shape, but it's lost some of the inside. So it's almost like just a just the shape of it, not the outer part. And then I replaced that one and was more successful. So I have them waiting to reveal the white, which later on I can go in with the paintbrush, but I'll know where they all live and I can touch them up. So let's go after the lighter color first, and I'll put this here. All right, and then we will, yeah, I'll pin it with the magnet if I can. Let's see, it won't, yeah, look at that, it's holding it a little bit. The other ones would. So for this, I'll just put some tape on it because I am going to be going back to the synthetic paper. So just hang in there for a minute. I'm going to do this. Hey, Roy, how you doing? Thanks for jumping on. Okay. So I'll check out some of these. Let's see. American Science and Surplus. What are you saying? Is that where I can get some magnets, Patty? American Science and Surplus? I'll write that down. I don't know if you were talking to somebody else on the thread here. American Science. But if I take a screenshot, I might kill the video. So it could mess up things. And Surplus. Surplus. Yeah, these magnets. Ugh. I can't wait to use them in the right way. I haven't done my classroom in a box yet. It's the cherries. Sylvia, Drew's wife, did them. She did an excellent job. It was so fun to watch her bring it up to photorealism. Go there. And she did. It was just amazing. I've watched it a couple of times because I learn a lot when I do things more than once. And I'm not even ready to paint. I didn't have the metal at the time. You get the video right away, but I didn't have the metal. I didn't have magnets. So I'm going to do it the right way. And I won't be demonstrating that because that's a classroom in a box. That's her teaching me. I'm not going to be sharing. I'll share the finished product and the knowledge that I get in a different way. Like as far as the color theory and stuff, I won't be sharing that. That's where you got to buy your own kits to learn. I'll tell you what, though, I would get something with color theory, even if it's not the color theory. Get the portrait one. Get the mixtures. Get the how to mix them kind of thing. That's what I would get, because I'd be lost if I just I don't want to be told just how to mix something. I want to know the why. Like, how'd you get there? That kind of thing. So, let's see. Whoops. See, I'm hitting the wrong thing there. Come on. Okay. Some people want me to get rid of that. Ain't going. Steve. I don't know what you're talking. Hey, Steve. How you doing? Hey, Steve, I went on your Monday Night Live. I don't know if it was too late or whatever, but is it still open, or you got to just join the channel? How does that work? I think you were painting a birdie last night. Okay, here we go, guys. Let's go. And if anybody wants to see mind-blowing Corvette, a mind-blowing job, Steve, he's painted a number of things like that, but I was watching his time lapse today of a car similar to this, but he showed the tread. The tread was coming at you more, and he was painting the chrome. You were painting the stuff on the front end and lights and lamps and all that, and it was really cool. It was high speed. I was looking for the tread part, but I didn't. I don't know if you have a video on that part, Steve, but the treads on your tire look so real. The front tire on that Corvette is like photo real all the way, man. It is phenomenal. You got all the little nuances in it. It's like, man, it's an excellent job. Okay, let me get this color in there. So now like I said, I'm in the opaque world because I mix this. You can mix, obviously, accurate colors in transparent only, but there's something about that opaque that is so wonderful for me because the fender here, which is covered right now, which is painted, Scratch is easy, and transparents, you know, touching up transparents are risky business because they do not like, you know, they can't be repaired unless you use an opaque, unless you're in the early stages. Okay, so yeah, I put the wrong picture up. I want this one up. All right, so let's just pin that there and put a little piece of tape on this guy here. There we go. You can see what I'm going after right there. Okay, here we go. So I'm going to just think of the tire as off blue tire, right? Because even up here, it's got that grayish blue. So I'm going to treat it like a transparent for a little bit because the actual color is sprayed out dark, like, and for it to really work and be what I'm, you know, this is a light version of it. So I have to also look at the bigger tire and see how far does this blue go. And it kind of tails off. The heavy part's right there, so I'll look at the letters. It's pretty much from the F all the way down, and it fades out by the M. And then you don't see that highlight of blue. So I can just kind of dust it in like that. And it looks much bluer and crazier until you start really getting into the gray world at 100%. Okay, so we're going to just whisk this around here, and I'm going to put it in and trust my game plan. I wouldn't mind still leaving a little bit of that line right there. And put a little bit on the top, but mostly on the front. Is that open? No. Man, that gave me a rush. I see some down here. I don't have to waste paint. I can just kind of put it in where I see it. Some mark there. Unless that's paint by me. Yes. Nope. You know how you get fingerprints on and stuff? There's spatters. That might not be. Yeah, it's in the tire. Okay. I just have to make sure. And it does get a little lighter over here, so I'll just put it there, but it's going to be much darker over here. And I have to be careful of my rim, which is not the tire color. So I'm going to just try to find part of this shape and just kind of protect where I'm painting right there. Just protecting the area that this can be pretty dark. Yeah, because I start getting that on the rim, and then it changes that color. I'll have to go back in there. Okay, one more time here. And the edge. So we'll just bring it up on the edge here. And I can come back in with lighter grays and just, you know, I don't want to lose that line. So I'm just going to do that. And a little bit over here. That should be good. How far does this go? That's pretty much what I'm going to do. Okay. Now, let's get rid of that color a little bit. I have the spray station, you know, the Awada. On the side here to catch overspray and stuff. The jar. We're in zoom mode, so this is a great product though, because every time you want to empty a little bit of color out of the gun, you get no overspray in the air. Okay, so thanks, Bill. I need to look if there is any videos on that painting. Okay, that would be great, because even after the fact, I would still love to look at that. Anybody that doesn't know Steve Leahy that's watching my videos, if you want to have a really incredible art journey, and the man's there for you every Monday night, this is just one thing he does, and that's the 6 to 8. Is that the time? 6 to 8? Yeah. Sometimes a little less time, right? Sometimes I do an hour and a half. Depends. I've even done hour videos. But he's there on Monday nights, and he does black and white paintings, giveaways, and incredible fine art that he has on his website. And he's having a huge discount right now, right, Steve? Aren't you having a discount on your website for everything? correct me if I'm wrong. What could go wrong? Yeah, right? What could go wrong? I don't know. I wish you were right here, Steve, and you were demonstrating the tire because I'm always learning. And even though I'm doing this demo right now or this painting, I was blown away by that. And that's why I'm always hungry to learn. Learn from the best. Find the best. There's a lot of bests out there, but learn from them. Their work speaks for it. You know, when I say their work, I'll talk about everybody from people that are gone now. Of course, Mike LaValle with his fire and all his art and his ability to create art spontaneously. And we lost him a couple of years back. And Steve Driscoll. I got all VHSs of him still, but they're all packed away. So I see a real nice darkness right in here. I'm going to try to leave some of that blue. I could always put it on top too. Oh, okay. Oh, I get some nice spatter at the low. I had the volume very low, and I get that nice for the pavement, along with other techniques you can do. And that's the other thing. Steve's, the pavements, the parking lots, all the stuff is great. It's just like, you guys just look at it because it's like, I learn by just looking, even if there's no video, say, and I just see a still shot, I learn a lot just by studying the picture because I don't know if I have to stay lighter with this. I thought I mixed this already. I hope I didn't grab the wrong black. Hold on a minute, guys. All right, I'm going to treat this black in a lighter version. I'm going to spray it lighter. So it's going to go in here like this, and it's going to go into a shadow. But I'm going to spray it lighter because I'm getting a little bit thrown off here. I spent time mixing the black, and it kept sending me back to black. And I was like, but I thought I saw a little bit of white in it, and there was, but it was a lot of black in it. How am I doing, Steve? Hey, I need a water. I'm getting a cold water, guys. I'll be right back. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So, kiwi terry. Yep. Oh, thank you, Steve. Oh, that makes me feel good. Especially using words like awesome. Okay, so I can always gray this back down if I go too far. I have no clue how Steve handled the tire that looks like a photograph, but I just know that man's got skills. I'm boasting on you, Steve, because it's real. I mean, my ego is just, there's no ego. It's just like we're all doing the best we can, but some people, besides being a great teacher, I'm forever wanting to learn, and that's my story, and I'm sticking with it. I'm just going to put a little black at the edge. I'm painting mostly on the stencil. I thought I was. I'm not real happy with my Micron. I know I got to go after the tip dry more, but the sensitivity, it's got a new nozzle. I know that's all old looking because it's from the 90s, banged up a little bit, but it's just not responding. No, it's not responding to, like, I watch some of the guys painting on these videos, and I'm like, their guns look like just, I have the 4020 and all that in it. Is it 4020? I don't even remember now. 4021. Okay, so let's go in here. I'm just using this shield I've seen from the workshop, Mark's channel. It's called the workshop, the art workshop, something like that. He uses, like, he'll move the stencil if he doesn't have the exact shape. So he'll find it again right there, and he'll use it right there. But he'll be very careful to not make a strange shape. So, being that I don't have ovals, I did have Frisket on that, but I painted the edge, so I took it off. So let's get this right here. And like I said, I'm gonna, whoops. See what I mean? That, I didn't want to do that, but it happened. All right, so I'm losing my little blue there, and I'll go on top of it with it. Might be a little thick. That might be my problem. Okay, I'm gonna go in here freehand. There we go. That's what I want. I want to control it. Getting a little shading on that rim, but I'm going to pop that back out. Yeah, there we go. Look at that little area that the stencil wasn't there for. I do have paper cutouts, but I was focusing so much on the letters that I didn't bother using them at all today. So we'll just catch this up with itself. What could go wrong? Flat spot. Get in there. Get in there. Right there. Moving stencil, right? Okay. So my letters are protecting, what does it say? Mastercraft Avenger GT. The G and the G's were very hard for me to work on. I don't know. So I'm going to leave this kind of light in here if we're going in there and putting in some details. There'll be some highlights coming back at it. And we're just going to bring this around right here. Go right over the letters a little bit. Aim out, right? Slipping off this trigger too. Sometimes I'll just put a little water on my finger and the grip comes back right away, the friction. So that works for me. All right, so we're losing the blue a little bit, and we're going to come back. I'm going to come back at it the old-fashioned way, painting it on top. I'm not worried about a blue shift because it's blue. Very dark in here. The more you cover your painting too, meaning the more you get rid of the white. I lost my line. Where's the rim? The more you will, hold on guys, let me find my shape here. Just the more that you, I cut into the rim a little bit there. Okay, nothing's ruined though because you can fix it. Okay, so I'm going to come at this with my white, and I don't want to capture that. I mean, the parking lot, opaque colors can fix things. So like if I caught that cutout with my overspray in here, the shadow, then it will show. But because this color can come in a bluish gray parking lot, I'm going to make it my own because I hate that one. That's too much oil. I mean, you got the beautiful car, and I would have parked it away from there for the shot, right? So let me unzoom here. Yeah, I don't like that. It's like oil stains and all. So I can kind of use this color, but I'm going to do the tarmac, like the speckles. Okay, so what do I have here at all? Do I have anything worth looking at? Okay, let's get this out of the way. A little scratch. Oh, that's the frisket. Interesting. Nice. Whittled it with the sharpener. You know, just want to see something for a minute. And now it's moving. Okay, so better not do that. That's the little E. That doesn't even have its center cutouts. So I'll go in with a paintbrush and I can just take the same color and I can put in the difference, you know, right here. Coming at that. And when you're doing videos like this, you just, you know, if you're not sure what you're doing, you just pretend you do. You pretend. It's getting harder for me to do certain things because of many different things. Being 100 years old, you know, I always say that because I can't believe I'm 70, 71. I don't even know my age. But anyway, things change on, you know, your eyesight. And so while you're young and you got the youth, enjoy it. So let's see what we got. Let's get this out of here for a minute. Okay, back that out even more. So the magnet is just behind the paper here. I like a white background. Okay, the way I could do tire treads is with a paintbrush. Yeah, well, that's why I'd love to see the video of how Steve did it. But I hear you, Michael. And there's nothing wrong with, you know, using different tools to execute things, right? So I think I'm gonna, just for looking, I'm gonna take one of the letters out to see. I know probably some of the letters are gonna be not the way I want them. Let's try the T right here. Let's see how bad it is. It's flipping around and sticking. Oh, probably doesn't have a complete cut. There we go. So it's there to guide me. And like I said, the letters are funky anyway. They're very crooked. And, you know, the tire company it's just real life, you know. So let's see if I can put that back on there. No. Yes, maybe. Slippery. And there we go. It's almost on. There we go. So what I'm going to do is just get that other blue for a minute. I want to see how it behaves on the black by itself. Otherwise, you just want to go to your white, you know, that kind of a thing. And then you can put the color back in. So I'm going to take the blue. Plus, I could come in with a brush later and execute the outer rim because it's got a lot of little crazy things going on that are not just one cut. Look at that. I'm talking right by my thumb. I'll put my thumb there. Look at that. That's like painted off-white, silvery color, and then hand paint in, like you were saying, Michael. And this is where Steve would come in with the paint with the brush or a sliver cut in a you know, when he has the paper down and registered right, he can come in and spray the little things like these lines in that. It's going to be probably brushwork, or for me, because of a little bit of a shaky hand, I'll be coming in probably looking at those with post notes. Like I could just, it's a little bit more work, but I could come in and go like this on the one, and then come back at the other side and just put that sliver, the thickness it's supposed to be, right about there. Nope, a little fatter. Right about there. And they all have to be the same. And that can give me my, you know, accurate lines along with markings. That's why the clear, I think, Michael, you use the clear. That would be very handy right now because you'd have to have the registration of where this thing begins and ends. So I'll just use the pencil for a second just to put one dark so that that was the airbrush spraying right there. You have to have the registration of these things lined up so that they start to, and they're a little fatter. They're a little fatter than, man, that's a gorgeous looking reflection, the chrome. Okay, and I've got to put the whites in and stuff too. So let me get the blue on there right now. Flush this out with a little water. Got. Oh, that's cool. Thanks, Steve. That tells me I didn't know if you just airbrushed everything, but you know, with a little stencil, little shield coming up and making some of those, you know, a bit. Of course, shield that had a little curve. So paintbrush, huh? Boy, you matched that right, melted it right into the airbrush though, which we all seen you do that before. But thank you for that. I'm gonna try a screenshot, guys. Sorry. Okay, now I have what Steve just wrote. Say I'm in school. This is a learning platform. I'm sharing my knowledge and what I've learned with you guys. But Steve just came on and said that, and it's like this is learning from me to you and from me back from others. So this is great. It's a great hangout too, right? We're all artists. We think alike. We're all airheads. I know pinstripers are pinheads, but we're airheads. You got Pinstripe Chris, man. That guy's a monster on the paintbrush and the steady hands. And now he's doing the fast, giant paintings that are looser but so real when you back off from them. Okay, yeah. Here's that blue. So Pinstripe Chris, or he's got my story. He's on, you know, the my story thing all the time, and Chris is his name, I think. Yeah, Pinstripe Chris, of course, but I'm not sure of his last name. Him and one of my mind-blowing ones that I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing his name right, but let me see if I can remember what I should have wrote it down. And I could have just showed you this. Give me a second the name is tricky. He can go in and paint everything like that, circular. He can paint a dashboard. He does like insides, interiors of cars and all this stuff. And I'm like, no way. I mean, no stencils, no, nothing. Just go for it. So here we go, guys. We can kind of take, maybe if I can get the shape of that black line, which now disappeared a little bit. And that's not the stencil for that. So I will just pass on that. Yeah, this is what I can do. I can come back at this. I hope I'm not blocking you guys. It's working perfect. It works perfect. I'm not making it very strong because it's not. So let's zoom in. Okay. Okay. Chris Dunlap. Yeah, I should know that because he signs when he did his drawings, he was doing the robots. He was doing like cartoons, and he was drawing sketches of cars from his head. And yeah, this is how I should have went, guys. Okay, so that's all right. It's going to be, you know, it's going to be okay. So that's, yeah. The dark to light is a fine, you know, thing that you got to do with the opaques a lot. Now I'm going to dust over it a little bit, just in there a little. I'm just trying to find some of these shapes. I could put a little dust right on the edge of the frisket. When I say dust, I'm just lighting the edge of the tread. And then, like Steve would do, he'd come in here and execute all of the tread that is there And as he even said, just painting. So that's how I'll handle that. And that's what I was going to do, but I'm not going to do that right now. So, because that's a lot of work. I got to really study it. I'll probably freehand it and not so much, you know, take the where you take it and line it up and register it. I could do that, but that's a black tire, and I could take it and draw it onto it. I already had the picture on the back here that I could have flipped over, but it was starting to get in my way, and I could have registered it right away by pulling it tight, and I could have just taken a pencil, little graphite paper, and you can get lighter graphite paper, and you could draw in every little tread, and then all it is attention to details, and it's like putting it where it is. So if these little shapes go around and they're curved, then you put them, they get smaller and smaller and smaller, and then they start to go away almost, and just almost like abstract. And then, yeah, this kind of stuff. The color of those letters are not the way to the board either. All right, so what do I got here now? All right, so I'm going to, let's see. I'm going to start to uncover a few things here. I just want to make sure that's okay. I do want to come in and just kind of go to the very first like mark, which is right above, it's coming right off the F. And the F is right here. So I'm going to just make a little mark with the pencil, just to get that little curve. And you can almost see at least the registration mark of where the contrast will be. So just for the sake of a little, let's see, the next one would be in right here. They're pretty close together. First one is fatter. So I'll just do that with the pencil for a minute, just to show the contrast of how this is going to start to look more realistic. Look at this mess, huh? Trust it. Okay, so let's see. Hope everyone has a wonderful rest of your week. I'll catch up tomorrow. Thank you. Yeah, Patty, just if you want, you can share it to your wall. You can even make it private so nobody else sees it. No, whatever you want to do with it. Take care, and yes, I hope you had a great Thanksgiving, and look where we're marching up to. Christmas is what, less than 3 weeks away, something like that. And the crazy shopping and the family time, the good meals again. And so have a good one, and I'll talk to you soon. Okay, so is that not covered? Oh my gosh, hold on, guys. That's not shining, guys. Guess what? Oh, I didn't cover that. Didn't do much damage. You know, it's gone on to the wheel well. So I'm going to see what I got going. So if I take this off and I save it, so I'm going to unveil this. I'll pull this out. I'm going to see where I'm at, see the rest of the car and the colors. Oops, sorry. Okay. Get this post notes are pinned. You start seeing other areas of the car, and then things start to come more together. Because I got to see where I'm at with my tire. Post notes don't damage the Create text paint. You know, it's not doing anything to it. This is just my purple tape, Deltec. You can get it at Blair School of Realism store. It's wonderful. I gotta just tell you that this tape, when you're starting to make stencils and you have a piece of paper, you have copy paper, and you want to go on the paper. That's what this is all about. That's why Drew started to sell it. He found out about it and he fell in love with it. So say you wanted to just cut out that shape, and you cut it out. You can even cut that out on another surface and bring it over and put that little oval on there. But the point is, it doesn't rip the paper, but it sticks to the paper. So if this tape is sticking to paper and not ripping it, you want to have this in your arsenal. You definitely, you can find this size roll. He has big rolls too. I recommend it. It's Deltec. It's at Blair School of Realism, and this was like I think $5 or something. I bought that small roll to try it, and I don't want to be without it now because it's just a great tool. One more for the arsenal. So let's see what you guys doing. So yeah, okay, yeah. If anybody knows the guy, I'm gonna try to say his name. It's oh man, I'm almost flipping the name around like Duart. I didn't know how to pronounce it, so that's why I'm having trouble. Pulling the name up, and I can't do it right now because I'm on a live feed. So let's see. This is for what is this for? Why is that there? Oh, I seam that together. But anyway, you can start to see now some contrast. Let's get this piece off. I'm not worried about the frisket. I've got my general shape in there, and I am going to probably purchase more oval, all different size ovals. See, there's where I went overspraying. And there's a little miss right there. But the correct part is not to be painted black. That white area is the shape of the tire. Okay, so I'm good there. And I just have to bring the parking lot up to that. Okay, and yeah, so let's see. This I took off. This is clayboard, and I wasn't happy with it, so I took it off. And it's got a really hard edge. So to anybody that's painting, pay attention to your edges, okay? Like the edge is very sharp here, right there. It's so critical. Edges. If you can manage the edges, meaning pay attention to them, that edge is not sharp. It's perfectly, it's there, but it's a little bit blurry. So it's called an intermediate edge. There's a little intermediate thing going on at the bottom of this so-called dark area. And then you've got the highlights lifting the roundness in there and all that kind of stuff. And then the soft melt. And like I even saw in Steve's car, the blue. The sky is reflecting. What's amazing to me is that this is a red car and this sunlight has washed out all the color and putting in the reflection and allowing the blue sky to hit in the white areas. That's amazing. It's an incredible thing to study a photograph. Okay, so what do I got here? I got this little area I can work on. That's not covered. That's just overspray going onto the car. That can come off very easily. So I got frisket here. So I'll just show you real quick, just little tips for the clayboard. And I don't know about this using the same things for the synthetic paper, but this is Windex, chemical removing. It's an eraser, but you got to be careful when you get to an area you don't want to crash into the tire, right? So I'm just following it real carefully, and it cleans it up nice. And you can look for mistakes, like I got a little overspray in here. And if I go too far, then I gotta like fix it, This one I see a pencil line under, so I'm not sure that this is correct anyway. But I might make this color over now that I've got the actual mixture. I might add a little white to it and play with the opaque version. It's just getting scratched a little, that kind of stuff. All right. The mirror is really doing a cool thing. It's flipping all through and bouncing into different, that's the mirror, that's the mirror, that's the mirror. It's incredible. So every time somebody says, well, how do you paint chrome? Your answer is in the reference. Put the blue where the blue is. Put the parking lot where the parking lot is. See it there? Paint what you see. Paint what you see. How do you paint this, that, and the other thing? You paint what you see. And you will find yourself being pleasantly surprised. One of the greatest things I learned in Drew's classes. Paint what you see, not what you know. Okay, let's see how good the blind man, the one-eyed guy, can do this. I can't even see where that, does that not have covering on it? Hold on. Did a letter get by me? Yeah, it did. No big deal though, because I can see the letter R where it lives. I could come in here and I could take my time and etch it back out because I didn't know it was missing. You know, I'll find it. But anyway, it's the mistakes and all the happenstances that you want to learn from the artist. There's one that needs some nice touching up. Is that another one? No, don't tell me. No, that's, oh, the E fell off. I put the E on. Don't tell me this. Those letters. No, they're on there. Give me a second, guys. I got to look at an angle here. They're on there. It's just very hard to see where they are. Well, they're just as sloppy as the ones on the real tire. But now the paintbrush can come in. You know, like I said, they're not perfect letters. And you wouldn't even know it with this one. You might try to do more perfect, but you want to paint what you see. Look at the imperfections in just the way that R doesn't want to turn. When I hand painted stuff like this, say I'm doing this on a tire, a ring, a boat ring, you know, lifesaver. I would make everything hit the curve, including that R. So I'd pull that R down to the curve area. So right here, this should be going like this. You know, it should be round. It should meet up with the bottom of that A should be right here. That A should be there. It's just sloppy tire work. I don't know why. Okay. Sometimes you can get the letters off with like masking tape or something. Let's try that. I do believe a couple letters might have fallen off, but I've got my pattern. I've got it all ready to go. So I should be good, at least to find things, right? The Avenger. It's a rough, but some of them are pretty accurate. But that's gonna play into a little freehand alone time working on this. Like some of the E's, I couldn't get them to cut so nice because they have that little area right there. You know, it's like sliver. So that's where the paintbrush could come in. That's a oversprayed E, but I'm very happy for what it's worth because I've got the layout of most of this where they go. So yeah, because what's going to happen here, and you can use graphite to find this again. Of course, this is the real one. So I'd have to line that up, find the starting point. I think it's right here. And then I'd have to bring that in right here. I'm just going to do this little part right here. And then it can be executed. Like I said, the guy, I was trying to think of his name. He could do that. He could do that freehand with nothing. No frisket. Oh, I promise you in the next one I will find him. And maybe I'll post his video to my page, my Facebook page, and share it with everybody because it is incredible. His steady hands. He's been to like SEMA, and he's becoming really well known. I think he's into skateboarding or something. I don't know what country he's in or anything, but he's overseas. He's across the pond, I do believe. Dumont, I don't know. So do I really want to take that off? I'm not sure. Maybe not. Okay. So I'm going to work on this area right now. I am going to open up this area because I have to get that. The tire just fades into the darkness. It's gone. You can't even see the inner shape. There's nothing there. Thank you. How do you say it? I'm going to say it and you tell me if I'm close. Neymar Duarte? Does that sound like the pronunciation, Steve? Neymar? Well, anyway, guys, another screenshot here. I can find him because I follow him on, I think, Instagram. Check him out. Check him out. What do you think, Steve? You've seen the control, right? he's like an alien. What skill? And he paints cars and he paints parrots and he paints very electric. I've seen him do he has a video on the Back to the Future on a guitar, like a Strat body. And he's got, Michael J. Fox when the fire went under, I don't know, where Michael had his glasses up on his head there, and he was posing, in like a jacket cover for a video, and he painted that on the guitar. And I was like, okay, I got to pay attention to this man. I don't know. So I just don't know how I can do it. So yeah, I'm going to take this off. I can save it on the side, but that's got to be, the tire has to come up. I mean, the parking lot has to come up to the tire. So just squinting your eyes. It's starting to come together a little bit more. Let me get this back in here. So there's going to be a gap, and I'm going to mask it off. There's going to definitely be a gap. So I want a little frisket. What I mean by a gap is I'm going to start the hard line below. I'll use the dowel. I'm going to start the hard line about smidgen down from there, leaving room for the highlight to be there already. No, that's not right, guys. I take that back because that would not be a hard edge. So I have to put the highlight in. That is the edge. So I have to put the highlight in myself. Let's see. Is that cut in? Yeah, a little bit. Slightly. So when I get in a situation where I see I cut a little deep, one thing you can do on the clay board is you can get your 1000 sandpaper and you can sand. You can even get a little more, grit before you go in. This is also a great eraser for like a line or something that you need to clean off. But that's not a groove that's going to ruin anything. But it's a permanent line right now because it's the X-Acto knife. Maybe I pressed just a little too hard or whatever. But the thing is, it's to the feel, it's superficial. So I can clean this up a little more. Go in here. It's like an eraser. Okay. So that's not coming off so easy. So I would have to use the next thing. But clayboard has some pretty good thick layer of clay on it. And you can see the powder. And you can get rid of that. I mean, I've literally have erased out, unless they're monster cuts, then you're not going to, you're going to make it better, but you're not going to get rid of it. So let me just focus on one little area. I know where camera's shaking, but I don't care. What could go wrong, right? No, I'd care. Okay, so I could work on that, but I'm going to put that's the same shape. So let me get my frisket. Maybe we can see this by working on it. See, that's getting scratched a little bit, but it's just the black. So I'll just put this here, and we'll get this back in there. This so far is doing pretty good, but that's got blue in it. Okay. But like I said, this is step-by-step stages as we go. I think so, yeah. Because the pronunciation is not, is not, I never heard anybody say his name. I just saw that spelling. And I don't know if he's from Germany or he's from somewhere. Thanks for the likes. 7 likes. Really appreciate it. You know what's doing really well, Steve? I don't know if you see your little short videos that come off of your main video. I got like 700 people saw, over 700 people, just a little segment of my full video. It's like a short, and it went out. And I just tagged it. You know, once I saw it was sitting there with a few people that saw it, as soon as I put the tags on it, it shot out there. In a couple of days, it was like a lot of people were seeing it. And then I'm getting friend requests because some of the people are like, oh, I want to, or followers, you know. Okay, so let's get this on there. A little film. Frisket over here in the background. I've got the gold tape too over there, but I'm going to put the frisket on. And I'm going to remove the glue from the frisket. And what I mean by that is there's too much glue on the factory frisket, and it sticks too greatly to the surface too greatly. It sticks. All right, so I don't need a real big piece. I'll just trim this piece off here from the big roll, and I'll save the difference. Went shopping for some new scissors. I love going for art supplies and getting the stuff I need. I'm going to do a little promotion in a minute about the classroom in a box because I'm so blown away. I'm so excited that I have it and I can do it step by step through Sylvia teaching you know, what to do, and the stencils come in the kit and all that stuff. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take my sleeve up. Let me pull this back and zoom out. Okay. So I'm going to take, you know, you don't want to go, if you have little hairy arms or something, you don't want to go on the hair. You want to go on here, and you want to take the glue down like that. It gets a little weird, like skin on there. And then like that, wherever you know, just, it's still sticky, but it's less sticky, okay? YouTube wants to be TikTok. Yeah, YouTube, when I was getting ready to go on, YouTube said, if you want to look, it's the year in review. And I thought it was about my channel. And it was about them seeing everything that I do on YouTube. I don't care what it is, what kind of music or who I watch. They had the names of people. I was like, man, you talk about, they're watching every little thing we're doing. It's like, good thing I'm doing music and art and being a good boy, because I'll tell you what, they gave me a year in review and I forgot about some of the things. I watched music videos. I thought I would have a higher percentage of music, paying attention to music videos, but I think the Airbrush was up there pretty high, watching Airbrush videos, but maybe the music was the stronger one. And then they had words like, and you're an explorer, like you like to look into all kinds of stuff. It's like, yeah, and where do I live? Okay, I see that curves out that way, just a smidge. Okay, let me look at the copy. Oh, I already got this shape. This one might have got ruined. Let's see. It might have got wet. Let's see. Yeah, I could use it, but it got wet, so it's kind of wrinkly there. Looks like it goes that way. The way you can tell, what I'm looking at right now, guys, is I'm looking at this line, and I'm looking at this line, and I want to make sure it's really a line and not curving with the car, and it pretty much is. Okay, so I have to adjust this, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take some blue tape, and I'm going downhill a little bit too much there. So I'm just going to take this right here, line it up, pivot it, and make sure I'm hitting it good. Oh, I got my frisket on there. What an idiot. I'm thinking I'm going to clean that off. Put that on the side. It's going downhillish a little bit. So I'm going to come in here like this and just get that off there with a little Windex. The littlest imperfections that you catch when you're working. It's like, wow, I didn't know that was drawn a little crooked. But in the picture, I thought it was curving, and I curved it all right downhill. Okay. Much better. Especially with mechanical drawings like this, it's got to be so accurate. All right, frisk it again. Now I'm going to be cutting where I already cut, and I put varnish on it in the end too, so a lot of imperfections go away. But I got a lot of paintings here that I've done, and I haven't gotten to the varnish. They could get damaged so easily. I'll never forget the time that Paul McDonald, another fantastic artist, check him out. He's in the UK. No, he's in Australia, I'm sorry. Paul McDonald said, and he laughs, you know, his cat came in from the rain, and some of his paintings in his studio were just he had them out on the floor. I guess he was going through a batch that he found of paintings that he just kind of, you know, did what he did with them. And the cat walked with the wet paws right onto, oh, there's some interesting shapes here, guys. I'm not even realizing that. Right onto the painting. He walked across it. It was like Mike Tyson or something. And he was laughing. And he's like, oh, I mean, Wipeout, you know? It was like a Wipeout. But he thought that was funny. The cat came in, walked all over his painting. And that was that. So I guess he'll touch it up. But he works with a lot of OPEGs too. He knows how to correct things. He's a Drew Blair expert that even was teaching for Drew over. He had permission to teach Drew's stuff over in the Australia. What was that? A piece of frisket there. Must have just stayed there and got locked on. So I'll find those letters all later. What I got? Any black in here still, or the gray? That's the gray. I don't have that in there. So let me put the black back in. I'm going to start, well, if I can here. What do I got here? What's this piece? Oh, that's the bottom. Okay. I'll worry about that later. I want to get this, before I even paint that, I want this melt going on. It's a pretty new blade. Yeah. I gotta be careful the next time letting that go on there. I didn't realize my piece of frisket was so big. So I'll just go like this, cut it away for a minute, like that. I just want to get in here for a minute. Okay, so that is pretty straight. Let me check the picture, being that I've drawn some things wrong. Straight out, straight out. Mine's round. I love it. So mine's got to come off of this line. That's film, right? Yeah. Wow, that goes right to there. Okay, so that's just got to be trimmed a little bit better. So I'll just do what I just did, but I'll just freehand it. Take a chance. Once I sink into the frisket, it kind of works out because it grabs, if you do have a little tremory hand, you're sunk into the thing, just like with the lettering quills. I mean, pretty much the the tremors, I've been dealing with the sugar problems, low blood sugar and all my whole life. So this is a sign painting quill, okay? So when you load it up, I'll just wet it. Watch what happens to it when I put, it might not behave nice because, yeah, it is. It hasn't had enamel on it in 100 years. But it's a two-sided brush. It's basically, it has the enamel on it, and you've got that side and that side. And somebody might see me letter in a store window or something, and I might be a little tremory like that because I had a donut or something stupid. But once you plaster this to the glass or to whatever, this is loaded with paint. And once you rest on it and you pull, follow your line, the people are amazed. They're like, "Am I making you nervous?" They would say, and I go, "No, I'm just the shakiest gun in the West," that kind of thing. And they'd be like, "Wow, the end result was nice letters." You know what I mean? The same thing with, I had a guy wanting me to teach the sign painting stuff, but when you're making a letter, like when you're doing a tire, so the shape of that tire, we had to twirl the brush. We had to twirl it like that, twirl it in your hand, and that way it consistently stayed the same thickness, whatever, because it's pressure too. But it's wired, and it's gray squirrel hair, and they're quills. This is a number 8 Grumbacher. This takes me back, gosh, my hand lettering days were starting to come to an end when the computers came out. I mean, then it was all vinyl, but I went with it because that was my career. And then I was trying to diversify, and people wanted art lessons, and I would be like, okay, we'll do a little art lessons. And I thought that would be nice, to do some art lessons and help pay the rent for the store. Well, little did I know it got bigger than the sign business. And I ended up having like 90 students coming through my doors monthly for a while. And then, of course, 2008 came. But anyway, it was really fun teaching the kids and stuff, how to do cartooning, how to do anything. And if I didn't know it, I went to school for it. I went and took watercolor classes, so I would be better at watercolors. And I would study cartooning through, what's his name? Hart, Hart. He's got the most unbelievable collection of cartoon books. He's like a Disney kind of artist, but he's made his own niche in the market. Christopher Hart. He sometimes goes by Chris Hart. And so somebody would be like, I want to learn, my class, I want to learn how to do cartoons from scratch. Well, I had to give them the better quality cartoons. And so I'd go to Barnes and Noble, and I'd be studying to be, on the job training kind of stuff, right? So this is all kind of just going to go this way. It might curve in a little. I can always adjust this later. I'm just going to put it here. Little friskets up here blocking that still, right? Yeah. So I'll just come right to here. And the tire just melts into the so-called background here. Now, if I take the volume down, I can get spatter. I'll just do a little corner right here. So let's zoom in. And depending on what you're looking at, like Steve, you taught me, if you want angles, you can go like that and get that more oblong, oblong shapes like that instead of just straight at it. So, yeah, this is going to be the parking lot's going to be a whole nother animal. It's going to be darks and blues and lights. So it's going to have speckles of different colors so that there's a shadow going this way. So I'm going to use this shadow, this rough layout for my parking lot. But I'm going to get into the blue still. I've got to be careful because the blue goes in here. So let's see. It really disappears right around here. kind of just melts in. And like I say, if I'm off here, I just come back with the lighter color. You already saw it go on there, right? And then under the car, got any frisket there? Just putting a little shadow around it just to help it start to look like something. I think I've got a body, a line that's not correct, so I'll go like that. Everything can be fixed as you're working on it. Like, I think that's not, yeah, it's not drawn right. So we'll just come a little lower right there and take some of that off. That's a shadow, and we'll just blow it this way, keeping it out of focus and soft. Dark right at the edge. Really, it's black at the edge. That's right there. It goes under the car, and then it kind of meets the tire. So I went a little too far. It meets the tire, like right where the tire is, like right there. Come on now, up tip dry. I should know better. That's why my airbrush isn't working right. So they don't pay attention to the tip dry. Okay. So it's kind of a funky little thing. It goes that way, it turns this way. I can put a little parking lot, dim that bright spot there a little bit, because it's going to be multiple colors in there. So let's see how that looks a little better. Okay, so things are coming together a little by little. Remember, that's frisket. Okay, so before I think of ruining that part, you can do another way that saves on all kinds of tape. Instead of million post notes, you could take a piece of paper, as long as it's got no paint on it, and you could kind of just do that and take that down, and that will cover a big area. Film there, make sure. Nope, no film. So we want to go to here, because we're working on the bottom part. But I want to be careful taping on to the transparent color. Patches right there. Right there. That is, boy, the clay board is so smooth it feels like frisket or something's on there. But it's not. It's just, you know, I mean, this is open now. This is all open. So a couple post notes, because they are handy. Even that. We can come right over to here. Just stay away from the edge. Just maybe back it off a little bit. This is sticky. It's called extra super sticky. Okay. Don't get the ones that just say sticky or don't say anything about stickiness. Get the super sticky, because they won't blow off with the airbrush. But I've seen this tear paper like on a check of mine, writing a check out, and I put a little note on it, and it literally, you know, did its thing, ripping the check and having to void it out, because it just had enough strength to do that. Yep. I was in the sign business for 30 years, 28, 30 years. While I was in the sign business, somewhere along the way, we had stores out on the highway. I had 5 stores. Started in a garage, started in a van. You know, you drive out. I worked for a Chevrolet, and my job went away. I never knew they had super sticky. Yes, go ahead and get them. They're really good, but make sure you see super sticky, and it is Post Note brand. I don't know if there's other brands that are, you know, Gear and Label, whatever, from Walmart, whatever they're called. Pen and, I don't know what they're called, but the sign business started when I worked at the Chevrolet dealership. And I had part-time going for a while. You know, guys were starting to ask me, the mechanics, they had race cars, they were starting to ask me because they heard I made a sign. It all started with me. I was painting pictures of buildings. I told this story before. I was so happy, like, oh, this is exciting. Like oil paintings of, say, a house or a body shop. And I started to, my boss allowed me. He said, if you're getting your job done, it's one more reason why they like the truck to come to deliver parts. So that worked out good. But having said that, one thing led to another, and before you knew it, I saw airbrushing lettering. I saw actual lettering that was on a tow truck, and that was it for me. Because the sign business wasn't really grabbing me at first. I was like, okay, I made a few extra dollars at Christmas. I lettered a tow truck, boring white letters, kind of like that. And all of a sudden, my whole world changed because I saw the airbrush tow truck when I was delivering. And I was like, I got so hungry. I was like, who did that? I took notes, the chrome letter phase when everybody was doing chrome letters. I didn't know people. Somebody painted Mr. Goodwrench on a race car and cleared it. And I was like, you wanted to, it was just like, oh my gosh, it was so cool to see on a vehicle. And it was sign paint. So having said that, that really propelled me into go to seminars and other things that I got interested in, that I followed right along the path of being a sign painter. And that's my story. So I know that this has some fancy little designs coming off this. This goes all the way out. I'll just cut it the way it was originally, but it really does something else here. It goes out and it flanges out this way. I'm just making this up here as we go. Okay, it will come down and it comes back like a point and it goes this way. It might not be exact, but I don't care. It's going to work. And this goes this way, and I'm following the old line there. Okay, so I can take that out now. And any other little neat things I see on here, I can get the brush out and use the same color. Okay, so I haven't used my color. You can also cut on the tape and you can score right into it and pop that piece off. What I have on the edge is, you can save some of these frisket pieces on the paper. But what I actually have is pieces just hanging on the edge of the metal where I could just grab that piece right here. Oops, right here. I just stuck it there. And that's it, yeah. So, okay, where's my thing I'm working on? I got to tighten this, getting loose. Give me a second. There we go. Okay, so we want to pull this back into the better area there. All right, so let me see here. Now, I didn't do this right the first time, so I'm going to get my color out. Corvette dark area. How good is it? I didn't even check this, guys, so I don't even know if I can paint this right now. And there's a lot of paint in there. But I'm going to put a drop of white in there. I don't care if it gets... I need a little bit of white to strengthen it. Like maybe... It's going to lighten it a little bit, but I want that opaque first. So that's my transparent color that I matched. But I have the color theory in a box, and Drew just added to it. He literally, like, I own the kit. I own the color theory video for a lifetime. But every once in a while, he throws in, like, all of a sudden you're looking at it, or he'll tell you on, hey, I added this to your color theory in a box. So I bought it around 2021, and all of a sudden there's been two upgrades. They're just there on the video. One was how to work with gradients, which was the newest one. That's to do with this, transparents, gradients, how to manipulate them, because a lot of people that he teaches wants a faster way to paint. And there it was, waiting for me. I already paid for it years ago, and I have 2 upgrades in the color theory box thing, classroom in a box. And it was good timing too, because I was doing the vet. And some of it I knew a little bit, but when you go to class and you know, come home, they say you only retain about a third of what you've been taught. And I was down at Drew's for 2 weeks, staying in his super cool school in Blair, his ancestral town. And it was like room and board. You pay, you stay there like you're in college or something. And my wife even went with me because I couldn't drive. I had the neuropathy crap going on. But anyway, having said that, it was quite a cool experience. So I just put this color in here, but I got to put a red under it this time. I'm going to blow that out. This is the color. I can show you on here. That's the darkest. And if you go over it, it's like down here, it's real dark. If you keep going over it, you're going to get darker and darker and darker and darker, because that's what transparents do. There's no stopping point. But I need red first. I need a little bit of the original red. Let's see. Lighter red. Could this be it? I'm not sure. I wouldn't mind having the red. This might be a bit too much red, but I'd rather have it under there waiting. And it is transparent, so boy, it lasted all these weeks. Wow. So I'm going to just dust in. If you look at the photograph, you'll see there's some red right in there. And this is the area. So let me get that volume right here. So I'll just put it in, and it kind of goes like this. Let me test this color. I wouldn't even mind having it even over here more, but faded out, the gradation, right? Bring it up to the top, and it can even be under the dark because it has something to bite onto and blend into. Nice, this is the thing when you have transparency. You have to make sure you can spray gradation. Otherwise, you're going to be in trouble. Okay. So now I got that. I'll blow that little bit out. So I got my red waiting this time. This is why I'm doing it over, because I didn't have the red. And I want it to be accurate. You never got an email. Do I just have to open the link again? Yeah, the link, if you bought what did you purchase? You don't have to pay more. I got the one several years ago. Yeah, that's true. Let's see. I wasn't paying attention to these. I never knew they had super sticky. Michael's talking about the vintage signed Volkswagen painting. And thank you, Bill, for the comment on that. Oh, yeah. That was really that's a cool. Talk about lettering. You had your hands full. Very cool. The rust. If you're talking about the one with the rusty Volkswagen van, is that what you're talking about, Michael? And Dan, you're talking about you didn't have to pay more. No, I didn't have to pay more. Drew told me when I bought it, he said, by the way, he goes, there'll be some add-ons that will just be included. As I progress and go into the future more and more, I will add on, free of charge, these extra things that he wants to put into the video that you already own. Like I said, it's not a DVD. It's your video. It's an emailed video. You get it right away when you buy the kit. You get it right away. That just means your kit won't come in the mail with the stencils and all the things that you need. That won't come for a little while. So this is where I kind of didn't have it. I'm just trying to put it in now. Okay, a little darker light areas. Very dark at the bottom. Transparents make me nervous for the full body color, you know. Let's see, this goes like this, and it goes up. Did I kill the red already? I hope not. I don't think I did. Yeah, there you go. Now I'm just going to fill that in. And this kind of just cruises over and shapes out a little bit right here. Just kind of, see, it's getting darker. I got to be careful. That's what I am not used to with this this scene. There'll be some here. I can go free. I'll do the guy that does freehand. I'll do a little bit here. See, I can do it a little bit. Just a little. Okay, I'm just going to leave that like that. Fix this up a little bit more. Painting my letters white, red. Tip dry. I got to remember that. And then it's red in there, so I'll just play it by ear. It gets real dark down here, so I'll just dust it in over what's already there. And real dark, one more pass, adding as I go, right? Okay, so hopefully that will look better to me, to my eyes, as far as the overall body of the car. Then I'll be looking at this afterwards when it's not on the video, and I'll be like, did I do that? Did I really do that on the video? Why did I do that? See all the protection there. Allowed it to have that shape. A little more red in there, and I can do that with a correction color, because I'm not going to do that again. This is right. This is correct now. This is probably got a little more red in it. So let me do that. So now, just taking that dark color out, going back to the original, I think it's the original color. I hope it is. Let me see. I've got a number of reds here. This might be the original. Let me see. Kind of a purpley, I'm not even sure. But I see red, so I'm going to put a little red on there. Like I said, I have a number of reds. The one red is actually from my project that will be painted privately, the cherries. But, so I have it ready, but at the same time, I've watched in the video, I've already learned, and I've seen this before with Drew's classes and other artists, how to take transparent and add it to spraying it on already something that's there and changing it a little. Because the visual here is it's redder. My color is pretty correct, but it's red, really red right there, more red. And then this fade out here can be tinted more, just a little bit. And I don't want to get too crazy. Coming up around this way, it's just got a little more red in it. Okay, I'm going to just call that for what it is. So I want to show, before we get off, I got time though. If you guys are hanging, I'm here. I don't know why I never knew about the upgrade. Just go watch your video again. Go towards the end of the video. Save yourself some time and go to where the algebra part is over. And that's where he added in the color shift, blue color shift. And he's showing you how to use the blue color, how to fix it. And then after that, he added the gradients with transparency. So just watch the end of the video and you'll be it. The fact that it has algebra in there, I don't even know. But it's very deep, the color theory course, and it's excellent. But you gotta get it and own it, because it can take your paintings really to a nice place. Okay, so this is all fragile because it's transparent, but it is the color. Excuse me. It is the color, pretty much. Ah, it's darker. See, that just means I have to spray it a little more. That's where you can use your reference to help you. Put it on there and say, whoa, it's a lot darker. And I will do that because I got the frisket. Do I got any color in there still? I don't think I do. All right, so I'll do that after. All right, so what do I want to do now? I'm not going to get into anything crazy because I've got some, there's a little blue tint that could go there, but that's just a small area. Let me get some white in the gun. Let's get a little highlight on the wheel. The wheel's still got a long way to go. And I'm not rushing any of this because it's a very tedious, mechanical kind of painting. Like I could pop that out and paint the top, and I could put my gray in there, right there, but I don't know where the frisket is. That's got to be painted black. So let's take a brush and do that one. Okay, so get the black. I think we got black right there. And we're going to go, where are we? What was I looking at? This. So I could come in here like this, and I could paint that. Oh, that went out of line. So I should really, I could just use the razor blade on that. So it's just one more little area. I'm pushing too hard on the brush, so I'll just do it this way. Oh yeah, I butchered that one. I didn't butcher it, but I bowed out a little bit. So it doesn't go out as far, but it's the same as all these other guys. This one goes up higher and down lower. So this one would be a little bit downhill like that. Okay. So you just look at them, stare at them, and get them to be right. These are reflections that are in the car. Don't ask me what this is, but it's a reflection of something that the wheel is picking up. And if you don't know what it is, just paint what you see, not what you know. That's in the painting. You can see it there. It's got highlights on it. There. Bigger. There. I might not even have the right color, but I'm just mimicking it, getting it right. Now the dark that's in here is a gray more. So that's just some crazy shape that's in there. I don't know what that is, but, and then this gets airbrushed over because this is not, it's distorted, and I got to get that right. So yeah, if I was that guy, I could just paint perfect circles, but I can't. So, and these are going to be, here's the, let's do that before I make a mistake. Let's do this one here. It's right there. Sticky super notes or super post notes, and make that a little fatter. Just a little fatter. I think that's about the fatness. I can see where the registration is. It's right here and here. I'll just make one, and then you'll know. It's kind of rinse and repeat that. Push down and go ahead, go crazy. Because it's picked up inside that shape. little quick stencils, right, that have glue on them. And then before I'd rip that off, I would definitely air dry it. And that's one, and they're already drawn in pretty accurately. That's just one. Oh, it bled under. What I might have done, guys, is I might have grabbed a used, remember I used these once? You have to use brand new ones for what I just did. You have to go in and peel it off, and that wouldn't have happened at all. So what I got to do is go after it with the X-Acto knife. Yeah, that bled right through. I got to just find out which way the blade wants to go. It's finicky. And fix it. Square it off there a little bit. There we go. And get rid of that. It went too far. And that's the first one. Too far. That's on Frisket there. A little bit rickety because of what happened, but and then I could come this way and get this side because it's just more comfortable. I need that perfect edge. So even though I messed up, I fixed it. And you can imagine them all coming around. Once this is done, this whole thing will be 3D without even shading it and working it. But while we have the wheel and there's nothing like really heavy chrome going on, I'm going to just take a little bit of the white now and pop that shine out. You know, I need a lid for my red here. Give me a second. Where did it go? Okay. So maybe I need a new lid. Oh, it got blown to the back of the drawer from the airbrush. So I carefully pull it out. That's a nice red, you know. It's a bright red. And it isn't out of the bottle. Not totally out of the bottle, that's for sure. Okay, so I'm going to clean out the gun. And I'm going to get my white and reduce it a little bit with... I probably could take the white from the kit. I got, you know, you get paints with the kit. And, yeah. Good night, Dan. You going? Thanks for popping on. Okay. So Dan didn't even, was it Dan? He didn't even know he got an addition to his color theory class. And that's cool. It's just as they're waiting. It's like the new abridged, updated version. And that's not really going to happen with any of the other classrooms in the box because color theory, if Drew adds something or changes something for, like they said, for speed, because the students were like, you know, all over the world, they buy these things, this color theory, and some of them, I think, were wanting to paint faster, and there is a faster way to paint, because Drew paints both ways, opaque and transparent, but he threw that in, just, and it was a reminder, it's in my notebook, of what he was teaching, but it was in 2010 when I was in the school, and I literally forgot some of it, you know, because I didn't work with the transparency as much. And there was, now it's in my thing. I looked at it, I was like, oh yeah, man, that's cool. Thank you, Drew. I meant to thank him too for the additions. Okay, so I'm going to put some white in. I think the gun is pretty clean. And I got to get in touch with Solo Cups tomorrow. I got to get them online because I can't get them anywhere anymore. So, hey Steve, where do you buy your any of you guys, where do you buy your X-Acto blades? Do you buy them by the hundreds? Because I'm at a point right now where I'm buying them over at Walmart and it's too much money. You know, you have 5 blades for 3 something. It's like, you used to get 100 for $28, I think, at one point. So if anybody has that information, That's cool. Okay, I need to stir this with a nice clean brush, which I do not see. There you go. You're clean. Just agitate it, put it in the gun, and make some chrome. Chrome is already established, but it needs highlights stronger, like this area here. Let's get the smaller picture. Lays flatter. Okay, that area right there is not, it's not lit up. Just lighting that little area up is going to make more chrome. Painting what you see. So I see a little bit here. Let me make sure the white's coming out clean. So it's a small area, but it's there. That little area. I'm air drying it too because it needs a second coat. Okay, so that's brighter all of a sudden. Now it's going to go around, that's frisket still, but it is going to be coming off of this area. So I'll just, and even got a little dooflicky here that needs to go away. It will get buried under the white, but some kind of little black mark out there. Okay, so it's pure white, so we can go with this going up to here. Oh, I see red, meaning the gun had some red in it. So let me test it here on the side. It's pink now. It's dominating, the white's coming back. And it just kind of blends right there. So you gotta learn to, for the beginners, have to learn to control the airbrush in a close-up manner like that. There'll be a white line. This is definitely too dark. This little edge, I got way too dark. Come on, where's the paint? That's what I mean. The response on this is not, it's just not doing it for me. I don't want to go outside the line, but if I do, I can bring the shield in and do the other. Okay, so I'm going to put a little bit of this highlight up here. It will go blue, so I really didn't have to spend too much time with that because the blue shift. White on dark is a blue shift. And then it really lights up here with some marks, like right here, there's a little rubber, what do you call it? Like he hit the curb or something, scar the tire. It's little. Whoops. And I can take the black around it and fix it because it's not going on where I want it. I don't want to get too chromy looking there, but I'll put the black back on there. I think there's a little bit more light in here in some sections of the gray, right there, just in the center. Lighten up that edge a little. And even here, this blue has got a little more white coming down right about there. So that makes it shinier right there, right? And there's a highlight on this crazy shape right here, and I have no clue. Whoops. I have no clue what this thing is, but I'm putting it in because it's in there. It might be a paintbrush thing I can do. So let me get the paintbrush. Where is it? Where are you? What was I doing? Okay, I just was working on a part. Oh yeah, right here. It kind of just goes like this. Too much paint. And then I can go back to the black, a back and forth kind of thing to make it work. It's just a little highlight. I just wiped it out. Okay, that's all right. I'll put it back in again. I think this brush might be too big for this. Kind of goes like that a little. I'll just leave it like that for now. And where else? Okay, so that's dark. So that's going to be like this color. Kind of like parking lot color, right? The gray. Separating. And it's two parts. It's here. And it's kind of here too a little bit. And that kind of sets the motion for seeing the parking lot upside down. Distant buildings, it could be, I don't even know. And then there's going to be some, I'm not going to do this with the brush. Let me try it. Yeah, I could do it. It's just texture, showing some noise of the gravel or whatever. Okay, so it's got a little texture in there now. Probably should have zoomed in a little more. So it's just showing the grain. Let me see if I could do a little bit more with the wheel, with the brush. What color is, oh, there's Frisket on there, okay. So we won't do that. This is all got Frisket on it, that's why it's sloppy looking. This is going to be white up here. There is a line too. It's like right here. First, just get the first coating in there just to get it to be brighter. It's got a little pancake right there. Okay. It's obviously whiter, I should say. It's somewhere around here. And it's going to get lighter. It's going to get lighter and lighter. I'm going to be doing some hand painting to bring this to its finished stages. I see a pancake right there. That's one thing my eye got trained. I mean, my brain has to fight the tremors. It's not from drinking, so I don't drink. I haven't drank since I was 28 years old, I think, because drinking owned me. Beer, but I was owned by it. It's just like, come on, man. You got a family, and it was owning me. Not to mention the cost, right? That was a long time ago. I got delivered from it in one evening. God just took it away. I didn't go to any meetings. I didn't go to, I didn't go, oh, I'm an alcoholic or whatever. I just prayed and prayed, and over a long period of time, I was like, okay, I can't do this. I don't want it in my life. And it went away. It was gone. so many years ago. The old, oh, you can't eat that one potato chip, you gotta eat the whole bag. So that's why you see me drinking water. But that's a long time ago. I mean, I was 28, I'm 71. I don't miss that. Just a little brighter spot there, maybe a little highlight right there. Just play around. It's not even a complete line that goes around that. This was more of a line. I got it probably the wrong brush for this one. I gotta fix that with the black. And then the letters, you know, like this is not the color of the letter, I don't think, but I'm gonna try it. The letters will come back just with patience. Missing letters or the letters that are too fat, and that needs black in there. So it's a back and forth thing. It will be cleaned up really nicely. Still trying to make it look old, you know, like the rubber. It's not perfect letters. But at least they're there, right? Okay, so we're at 2 hours. Let's see. It's going to be a lot more highlights and stuff. Some things I probably want to work because of my hand. I might want to work a little bit. I mean, I am doing it in front of you, which is pretty amazing to even, but see, it's wiggling now. It can't wiggle at all here. Not bad. Not bad for a shaky guy. Okay, so I'll do some of that at home. It might work flat. I'm not sure, but I appreciate you guys hanging out with me. You will see me on here finishing this painting because it won't be for a little while, but I am working on it every week with you guys. And you can follow the stages, the mistakes, the good stuff, the bad stuff. Yeah. So I'll come back in here with black even, and I'll fix things that are needing to be fixed. Right here, that letter is chopped up. So I'm going a little off there. Come back in with black. What is that? That's a G. So I would come in with the black, obviously. And I would come into the center of the G right here. And then I would work it into the center and come up this way and make the letter look uniform. Something like that. And I don't know what that thing is, but it's only supposed to be one thing here, so that's got to go. Okay, you can see the scratches there and stuff, but they will go away. Little hit of the airbrush or a little touch up like this. Same color, right? Fingernails, I guess. Nope, it's getting a little, I got to spray that. Look at that shaking. Makes me mad. All right. I'm also tired. Been working on this all day because before you guys were on, I was mixing the colors and what have you. So yeah, this brush is probably a little too long, but we're getting somewhere. And like I said, I'll go back in with, I'll worry about the show and tell with another time with the classroom in the box, but I'm just going to go back in one more time with the black. And I'm going to just kind of work around those highlights a little bit just to show you what I was talking about before. Okay. Okay, here we go. So these go, no. Just kind of go this way. Oh, I'm getting mad at this. You're going to see a how do you say it? I know how to say it, but I'm not saying it right. This is not good. It's not responding. Maybe I'm just a little rusty with the behavior of this. I don't know. But those marks there, they got to go. So they got to go. That wasn't my goal. Put the highlights back in after. We'll fix them. So it's starting to look like it's sitting, where it belongs. The weight of the car is starting to look like it's belonging with the, and then this goes this way. Yeah, it's like hanging up. Not happy with that. It's not me. It's a stupid response of the gun. It's making me frustrated. What is going on here? So I'll put that highlight back in again after. I'm just melt that in a little bit. All right. So I'll stop at this point. And yeah, so thank you. Thank you. Precision Airbrush. Thank you. I appreciate it. Okay, so there's some film on here. You could see the windshield and stuff, the body. Like again, look at the reflections that are in there. I believe it's a building. This looks like a building to me right here, like I said in the other video. And it almost looks like it says signs. So it could be a sign shop. The guy making good money. Got his Corvette there. Unless it came in for pinstriping or something. So anyway, I'm going to wrap it up. Went a little over. Thank you for hanging out. And you guys all have a good week. And I'll see you hopefully next week on Tuesday. I'll advertise that I'm coming on. And we'll go from there, okay? Good night. Be safe. God bless you guys. And have really good fun time with the airbrush and the art, okay? Good night.